So we will be starting. All right, everyone. A very good afternoon. How is everyone doing this wonderful afternoon? All right, I can see Sophia in the chat house. Hello, Sophia. How are you doing? I hope you had a great afternoon, a great morning, and I'm pretty sure I hope you'll be having a great afternoon as well. So, let us start with today's second live streaming session by a quick introduction about the one and only Harsh, right? So, I am Harsh. I have 8 years of trading experience. I have been trading the financial markets, particularly the forex markets, the commodity markets, as well as the US indices, right? So, in terms of commodities, we would be looking at oil, gold, silver, and when it comes to the US indices, I have been focusing on S&P 500, Dow Jones 30, and the Nasdaq 100. We are currently also looking at the Indian share market, whereby we are analyzing the Indian blue chip equity indices as well as looking out for opportunities in individual Indian stocks. I am more of a technical trader. I specialize in technical analysis, correct? So I am very specialized in supply demand, price action, order flow analysis, swing analysis, wave analysis, and Fibonacci retracement analysis. So, I have also been successful in handling $25 million dollars worth of portfolio and have also been successful in attaining 30 to 35% of profitability on an annual basis. The reason for me to share all this information with our beautiful community members is so that you all can be rest assured that the information that is being provided is coming from someone who has the experience, expertise, and the knowledge that is required in the financial markets. It is important for me to let you know that I have been trained and I have been guided by some of the brightest minds when it comes to the financial markets, right? Under the guidance of people who had worked as floor traders on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, correct? Back in the old days when people used to physically trade, I'm talking about people who used to be in that era, right? The real intelligent people of the financial markets. I'm talking about people who worked on Wall Street. Under their guidance, I have been very grateful because I have learned so much I have gained so much of experience from their teachings, right? So let us start and continue with the second live streaming session. But first and foremost, I want to know who all is present for my live streaming session. Write down your names. I would love to know which cities, which countries you belong to. I'm sure majorly it's going to be Indians. I mean, I would love to see more people coming in, but I would love to know your cities, which places you're from, because our interaction, we would be having a lot of interaction taking place in our live streaming sessions, right? It is not like a typical live streaming session where a person is just going to talk. I, Harsh, believe in reciprocation. So I want to have a lot of response coming from you so that I can revert back and help you understand. It could be any query, any question pertaining to the financial markets, and I would try my level best to help you out. So, how many of you have? What are your expectations when it comes to to the financial markets? What do you want to achieve from the financial markets? Please write down your comments. It would be very beneficial for me to understand because we would be having people from all across the globe from all different walks of life, right? Some people who would be young, some middle age, some entering into old age. So I would love to know the response, right? So everyone is coming to the financial markets with one main purpose, and that is to make good amount of money, correct? So that is what we provide, right? So Harsh from Dolphin Markets will be providing you with valuable content, correct? content in terms of analysis, in terms of hot stock recommendations, and in terms of education, right? So over a span of the last 3 months, we have been meticulously maintaining and updating our financial and financial analysis sheet on a regular basis. So we have been mainly focusing on providing you with hot stock recommendations. How many of you understand what I'm saying? How many of you are following my hot stock recommendations, right? I would love to have more response because I've been seeing that people do pay a lot of attention. They say that, Harsh, you're doing pretty well, you're doing very good in talking, you explain well, but how many people are taking action? Because I believe that people should take action if they want to achieve something, right? So we have been providing with consistent and diligent record keeping of hot stock recommendation. So over the span of the last 3 months, all the way from 18, right, as you can see on the screen, till today, or I would say till 16th, is when the last hot stock recommendation that we had shared had been closed. So all of the data that you are seeing on your screen is being updated on a real time basis. We provide you with parameters of entry, of course, the name of the stock, the entry, as well as the 5% profitability target. We do provide you with additional targets, but these targets as of now are not of our importance, because we have understood that over the last 3 months we have been consistently being able to achieve 5%, because the market has a tendency to move 5% before it might start to showcase some kind of oppression, whether the prices can reverse or do some other market movement behaviors. So that is the reason we have been focusing on the 5%. Most importantly, for those of you who are new to the session, it's not just about entry and target, it's about the position size as well, right? So we focus a lot on position size. We believe in a meticulous and structured methodology when it comes to providing you with hot stock recommendations. So please be aware that we are not gamblers, we are traders, and we believe in trading consistently with a structured format, right? Sophia is writing the linkage index of individual stock is falling. So what I've understood is basically the index, right? So today, the Indian index, of course, I'm going to be talking about Nifty and Sensex, because these are the two major indices of the Indian economy. And yes, Sophia, you are correct that the indices have been on a bearish movement, right? Everyone is aware, who are aware of what is the current scenario that has been occurring on Nifty and on Sensex. The markets have been quite bearish, right? So do not worry, Sophia. We would be talking more in detail about this as well. I would be connecting all the analysis, all the dots, right? Like I keep saying, it's better to connect as many dots as possible to understand the entire picture. But before that, before we continue, very important, since we are providing you with very high value content, right? I am sure none of you have come across a live stream session where trades have been provided on a real time basis, and we are also showcasing our profitability on a regular basis, right? As in how trades are being closed at a profit, we are updating our sheet. So over the last 3 months, we are sitting at a cumulative, right, a total profitability of 232, with 37 trades taken over a span of 3 months. As per today's YouTube title, right? I'm pretty sure, sorry, a live stream title. It is mentioned that we have achieved a profitability of 36% just in the first 2 weeks of December. So for those of you who are new, isn't that quite interesting, right? Isn't that fabulous if someone is able to make such kind of returns? I am sure you might be aware of people making these kind of returns, but there is a caveat. There is, what you call, there's an asterisk marks, and that is that we are making these kind of returns on almost a regular basis, unlike the other markets or the other competitors that are there. They are not able to provide with such accuracy, and that too with such high quality content, right? So hot stock analysis is being provided to you, as well as the overall hot stock recommendations, as well as the overall analysis. So please be aware that just over the last 2 weeks, right, let me just show it to you. We had one, two, three, four, and five, right? So cumulatively, we have been sitting at approximately five, and there should be one more. But overall, the overall context has been that yes, this one. So overall, we are sitting, as you can see, we have been sitting cumulatively, right? So we have been able to generate 5%, 10%, and another 5%, 6%, and 5. So if you accumulate all the total, it comes to 36%. How wonderful that is, right? So you have to be aware that, one second, just let me type it out. Um, so that is the power that we are providing to you, right? Now, in terms of coming to the charts and understanding, evaluating, like Sophia had talked about, yes, the indices as of today have been taking a bearish sentiment, right? So we would be looking at those and trying to understand and uncover what are the reasons, why is the market behaving in a particular manner. So first and foremost, as we had quickly shown you just the overall perspective of what the Nifty has been showcasing, it is currently bearish, right? And most importantly, be aware and be pay attention, because whatever information that I am sharing to you is of high value content, right? To those of you who have been attending our live streaming sessions should be aware that we are this thing, who have been attending our live streaming sessions consistently, like Sophia, should be aware that we are providing the recommendations, and we want to see our viewers, our community members making good amount of profit. So we have been focusing on the recent hot stock recommendations that we have shared, and keeping an eye on those trades. We want to show you on a real-time basis that it is possible to make money. So how many of you want to make good amount of money in the financial markets? Please write down, right? I'm pretty sure that everyone is eager, right, to make good amount of money in terms of, just let me make a correction, one second. All right, so everyone, just make sure that everyone is paying attention. Keep your pen and paper ready, because that is what is important. I'm providing you with content. Make sure you're paying attention, because none of the other brokers or our competitors are providing with such high value content. Now, coming back to to the value of our content that we are providing, since it is of top notch quality, we have to be aware that this is going to be provided to each and every one of you, but it is only it will only be available to you for this particular month, right? But moving forward in the month of Jan, right? So next month onwards, with the onset of the fresh year, that is 2025, that will be upcoming, we would be going private, right? So we would be shifting from the public live streaming sessions to the private live streaming sessions, and that is where we would be focusing on our VIP customers, right? Customers who are willing to make money, right? So for those people, make sure anyone who wants to be a VIP, can everyone who is attending my live streaming session now become a VIP? Yes, it is possible for you to become a VIP. You only have to get onboarded onto Dolphin Markets and subscribe for our services, and you will be receiving all the content that is required for you to make such kind of returns, right? How many of you agree to what I am saying? How many of you want to duplicate, who want to replicate such kind of profits on their own accounts? If you want to make, write down and say, yes, Harsh, we want to make such kind of returns. Write down in the comment box. All right. So everyone is saying yes, we want to make good amount of money in the financial markets, and that is what Harsh will be providing to you. I always have a tagline that I keep sharing again and again, and that is, when Harsh is here, there is nothing to fear. So if you keep attending my live streaming sessions, I will make sure to provide you with an opportunity that can make you rich, right? That can make you very, very good profits, correct? Sophia is also writing, will the Nifty fall to 23,000? So Sophia has been very active, and I like it because people should be more active, people should be having more interaction with me, right? Because that is how I will be able to understand what people are thinking, and based on that I will try to put my input in terms of analysis and my trading experience and provide you with the correct information. Does that sound good? All right, so coming to Sophia's question of asking about Nifty. So Nifty is expected to continue at least till tomorrow. For those of you who are new to this session, we or who have not attended my first live streaming session, we had talked about the US Fed rates, right? So let me just show it to you. So the US federal, the federal rate, right? So what is the US federal rate? It is basically, we are expecting a rate cut in the value of US dollar tomorrow, right? Tomorrow being 19th of December, 12:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time. So right in the morning, when the Indian stock market is closed, that is when the US will be announcing its federal funds rate cut. Remember, a cut is expected. Currently, the rate that is currently being running in the market is at 4.75. We will be expecting a reduction of 25 basis point, right? So we would be expecting it to reduce from 4.75 to 4.5. Now, because of such an important we call these news events as high impact events, right? So based on these high impact events, they can have a very nervous or skeptical outlook when it comes to the other markets, like not the US markets but the markets outside of US. So the Indian share market is also one of those markets. So for tomorrow or till tomorrow, we will be still expecting the markets to continue down. Now Sophia is writing, will it continue down till 23,000? Well, Sophia, we do not expect the prices to continue that low, but if you notice, and this is from a technical perspective, right? Because I specialize in technical analysis, so we would be expecting prices to come around 23,800, approximately around 23,800. Will it continue all the way till 23,000? Now let me just put a line to show you where 23,000 is. So 23,000 is all the way over here, the orange color dotted line. Now that is way too far away. We have to be realistic. So volatility is expected tomorrow, all right? Because when the news will come out, the share market will be closed. So the next day, tomorrow, when the share market opens, there will be, a good amount of volatility. But will it be going till 23,000? I do not expect, Sophia, but it can go till 23,800, 23,800. So we should be aware, and it is good that you are telling me about this because there is a possibility. Now, first and foremost, what is the reason for the stock falling, right? When the stock is falling, it is mainly because of certain sentimental factors that are currently at play, right? In terms of, especially, we had the banking, auto, and energy stocks. Now these are the sectors that are currently dragging the price of the index, or is responsible for the bearish sentiment. But most importantly, it is because investors are awaiting for the federal funds rate that is to be decided tomorrow. So first and foremost, it is basically because of the Fed's fund rate. But secondly, currently, because of the auto, banking, and the energy stocks, right? The energy sector, there has been a bearish sentiment. Sophia is writing, will the market turn bearish if it breaks below 23,000? Now, Sophia, let's go to the charts and try to understand it. If the market breaks below 23,000, let me be very precise and let me put the value of 23,000. So the orange line, that is, or let me just change it to black and let me make it a little thicker. All right. So 23,000 is over here. It is quite far away. So you're telling if the market turns bearish, will the market turn bearish if it breaks below 23,000? Sophia, for it to reach 24,000, it has to fall by almost around 5%, approximately 5%. The markets do not fall that evasively in such a short time span. Even for the markets to have a correction of 11%, it took more than 53 days, right? So 53 days is very close to 2 months, right? We are talking about one day. Yes, the news event is, high impact or important, but will such a heavy volatility take place in the Indian share market? Not necessarily. Why? Because the Indian share market is an entity, or is an entity of its own. The major impact will take place in the US markets. Yes, there will be ripple effects in the other markets, such as the Indian markets. It is mainly the IT sector, right? I didn't show you on the web page, but this was also quite important to talk about, which is the IT stocks, right? So the IT stocks are sensitive to the US markets because they are earning, or their revenue is being generated mainly from the US market. So if a rate cut has been expected in the Indian share, in the US dollar, the value of the dollar should rise. If the interest rate is cut, there should be an increase in price, increase in value of the currency, right? We are talking about the US dollar, and that should be beneficial for the US economy. Since the Indian IT stock, right, this one, since the Indian IT stocks are making their revenue from the US markets, that is the current reason why the markets are rising for the Indian IT sector, right? Let me just type out the Nifty IT and see quickly what is it showing. So at least as of now, since today morning, there has been a decent amount of movement, right? So there has been bullishness since the market opening, right? The markets had opened at 9:15 and it showed approximately a 1% increasement in the prices of the index, right? We're talking about the Nifty IT index. There are approximately around 12 companies as far as I remember, but that is one of the reason that the markets would be having optimism in the IT sector, but not in the overall Indian sector, because that can have detrimental effect based on the value of dollar and the Indian rupee. So now it is getting very complicated, but just to keep it in simple terms, Sophia's question is, will the market continue bearish if it breaks 11,000? Sophia, for it to break 11,000, it has to reach, for it to break 23,000 level, it has to break that level first, and that is quite far away. So we would not be expecting a fall of that caliber, right? But there can be a possibility for prices to correct, where we would be expecting the prices to come back and continue up from here. So we are expecting around the 23,800 level, right? And not the 23,000 level itself. Currently, even based, and just a quick review of the markets, then we will go to our watch list, right? Because watch list is which most of the people are waiting for. So the markets have been continuing down, and recently the markets have started to showcase good amount of bullishness, right? So let me use my highlighter. The last swing low that had been formed has been taken out, right? Has been taken out. That is the reason the sentiment has shifted from bearish to bullish, right? Let me just make sure people are understanding. The sentiment that was bearish in nature has now flipped to becoming bullish. So overall, currently, Sophia, I would be suggesting the markets are in a correction phase to the upside. So could there be a correction to the downside? Yes, temporarily, but overall we are expecting the markets to continue higher. How many people are understanding this? All right, if you have any doubts or any queries, please do make sure to get back to me. Now coming back to our watch list, right? Because the main crux of our live streaming sessions, especially the first and the second live streaming sessions, are based on looking at the markets and looking for hot stock recommendations, right? It is in the hot stock recommendations that I can provide you with the opportunity to make money, right? So recently, the last or the current, sorry, the current hot stock recommendation that we are looking at is on Quickie. This was provided to you on 11th of December, right? So it's been exactly 1 week since it's been provided. It was provided last Wednesday. This particular hot stock is still playing around. We had talked about it in terms of from a technical perspective. We will also look at this particular stock from a fundamental perspective. How many people over here want to know more from a technical perspective? Write down in the comment box. And how many people who are attending my present live streaming session, how many of you want to understand it from a fundamental perspective? Since I'm more of a technical analyst and a trader, I can be much more fluent and much more experienced when it comes to technicals, right? So coming to this particular hot stock that we had provided, it is still ranging sideways, right? We had talked about it in the first live streaming session, but as of now, because of the anticipation that is being expected for the high impact news event, we would be looking at the markets to be sluggish, or where the movement of prices will be sideways. The other reason is because today being the 18th of December, we just have 2 more weeks, right? So in 2 weeks we would be coming to the end of 2024, right? How many of you are excited for the upcoming new year? How many of you are ready for the year 2025? Write down in the chat box. What are your plans? What are you planning to do? All right. So when this particular season of the end phase of December is going on, that is the time when the markets are starting to dry up. What do you mean by dry up? Any idea? Anyone who understands what do you mean by the terminology of markets drying up? Drying up is nothing but liquidity shrinks, right? You have to understand that in the market, for you to buy, for a buyer and a seller to come together, the markets are doing that functionality. But when the last month of December kicks in, especially the second half of December, right, that is when most of the fund managers, most of the financial institution heads and CEOs take their vacations, right? Because it's Christmas, it's New Year, people want to have a great time. So that is when the people who control the financial markets are going for their breaks. So if they're going for their breaks, there is a huge reduction in liquidity, and that is the reason generally, right, the markets tend to go sideways during the second phase of December. Do you understand? I hope people are able to understand the reason. One is because of economical reasons. We have the US Fed rates that are expected to be cut by 25 basis point, but also based on volume. Now you will notice, even in terms of volume, the volumes are slowly declining, right? So the bars are going to get shorter. Yes, tomorrow we can expect more, but overall, I guess this is going to be the last high impact news for the month of December, or I would say for the year 2024. So everyone, what exactly do you want, to achieve? I have been talking a lot, but I need to get good amount of response because I am here for you, right? I need to understand what are your aspirations, what do you want to make out of these live streaming sessions. I hope everyone is clear the reason why we are having these live streaming sessions. The main reason is first and foremost to provide you with money making opportunities, right? Recently, this week itself, we had been able to close sorry, we had been able to close a particular hot stock that was shared on Hindware, right? So Hindware AP, we had done an entire detailed discussion about it recently, right? Just 2 days back, we had been able to close it at a 5% profitability. So just looking at it from the basis of this week itself, 5% in 1 week, I mean, I'm sure very few of you could be making those kind of returns consistently, right? We are not talking about random trades that have been taken, that have been, taken by chance or by fluke, or someone else has informed. We have put in the hard work and we have been showcasing that, yes, first and foremost, it is possible to make money in the financial markets, and secondly, it is possible to make money consistently, right? Not once in a while. We are looking at consistent trades taken and consistent profits booked, because it is in the profits that trades can make you good amount of money. People should understand and should take an action to get onboarded onto should get onboarded onto dolphin markets, because it is going to be going, or we would be transitioning from the public live streaming sessions to the private live streaming sessions by the next month. So make sure you book your seats, take the action to subscribe to our live streaming services, so that I can keep providing you with high quality content, right? So currently, even with the markets oscillating, we are seeing that more or less, right? Just based on the 1 hour chart, there has been sideways momentum, more or less, right? With quickly, let us just quickly go to our stock screener and show it to you as well. So the overall movement of price for this particular stock, right? It started at 9:15 a.m. with a price of around 171, and currently it is at 168. More or less, yes, it did start with a bearish sentiment, but as of now it is going sideways. Slight appreciation of price by 0.07%, right? So 0.11 pesa increment as of now based on the value of the stock. So looking at it from a technical perspective, we do expect the prices to either continue sideways, but since it is into a very strong area of support, we are overall. One second. I hope everyone is able to see my screen, right? Just because the markets are going sideways, it might take some time, but eventually we do want to see prices coming to our 5% take profit, which apparently also resonates with a very strong bearish trend line, right? So this bearish trend line, if prices are able to achieve and test the bearish trend line, we can achieve our 5% profitability. Could there be a possibility for prices to reverse after that? Yes, why not? Remember, in trading, it is not about being right. It is about making money. People can be right even once or twice, but how many of you can keep taking trades consistently, and overall you should be net positive? That is what trading is all about, correct? We looked at Kriti, we looked at Annapurna. Now, I remember Sophia had asked about Annapurna as well in our last live streaming session, but particularly, especially with the trades provided, right? People might feel a little, anxious whether the prices are currently consolidating, with prices, becoming more constricted in terms of movement of price. So you have to understand the markets are meant to behave in such a manner. We can never control where the market can go to is never in our hands. What is in our hands is our analysis, how we can connect the dots well to understand, correct? With the markets going sideways, you have to understand that the markets will eventually have a bullish sentiment. I hope people are understanding. I hope no one of you are sleeping. Make sure you're keeping a pen and paper next to you so that you can take notes. And if you have any doubts, or if you want to ask me, you can always write down in the comment box, right? So I can take the initiative to explain to you if you're having any doubt that you are, that you want to rectify with me. We looked at all the other watch lists. As of now, currently, more or less, the markets are either in a sideways trajectory or are currently having a slight bearish sentiment, right? But nothing over significant with the market, sorry, with the hot stock recommendations that we are providing. The markets are currently being having, except for certain stocks, right? We talked about auto stocks. I had shown you the article, right? We talked about the auto stocks, we talked about IT, and we talked about, let me just show to you once again so that everyone is on the same page. We talked about the banking, the auto, and the energy stocks are currently dragging the indices lower. With the sentiment of these three particular sectors, the overall index has been bearish, right? So we talked about banking sector and including Poonawalla. So Poonawalla comes in the finance and banking sector, and Poonawalla has been taking a good amount of hit, right? Currently, for people who can see what is a flip zone, anyone in the group who understands what is a flip zone? So a flip zone is nothing but a zone that was previously acting as a support, now has been converted to a resistance. How is it converted to a resistance? Because prices have broken below, right? So when such a scenario takes place, the structure is called as a flip zone, right? How many of you are understanding? Say I. Go and type in the chat box and say, yes, Harsh, we are understanding. We are learning a lot, right? For those of you who might be asking in terms of whether hot stock recommendations are being provided as of now, as of today, unfortunately, we do not have any hot stock recommendations, but we do have certain trades that have been running previously. So we are just evaluating and analyzing those. So in Poonawalla, since it comes into the finance and banking sector, and the overall index is having a bearish sentiment, so the markets are continuing down, right? Now, where can the markets continue down till is a matter of question. Since the prices are coming into a strong area where we would be expecting some kind of movement, but we have to see a formation where the lows are being taken out, right, by the creation of higher highs. So that is when we would be expecting the prices to continue. So you do not have to worry, because when Harsh is here, there is nothing to fear. I will update you with any requirements that have to be taken for this particular hot stock, right? Hind oil has the similar picture. We had been talking about Hind oil, especially with all the geopolitical factors going across the globe, right? I'm pretty sure everyone is aware, right? With all the uncertainty that has been taking place across the globe, even if you look at the crude oil prices, there has been a good amount of correction. All those factors have led to the markets eventually, right? Almost, I'm talking from from the month of August. So from the month of August, in the span of 4 months, the prices have been bearish. Now the markets are consolidating. Whenever the markets from being bearish start to consolidate, that is when we can start to expect an increase in price, right? I had even showed you in terms of seasonals, right? How many of you are aware of what seasonality is? Right? Anyone aware what seasonality is? Okay, so seasonality, like how we have summer, winter. Okay, let me tell you, we have spring, then we have summer, then we have autumn, and then we have winter. Correct? Am I correct? All right, so just as we have the four major seasons and they keep repeating, so seasonality is basically the same thing. What had happened in the past during that particular time period, we can expect the prices to do the same. So if you're looking at the dark blue line, that is 2024, how can we use a reference? So we have to look at the previous year. So we are looking at 2023. So as you can see, for the year 2023 as well as 2022. Now, irrespective whether the prices are above or below the current line chart for the year, the overall the overall movement of prices has been appreciating. So the prices have been increasing, and that is why we could be expecting the same thing. So overall, in the coming time, we are expecting the prices to rise, correct? I hope you're able to connect the dots, right? How we connect seasonality, how we can use technicals, how we can use sentimental analysis and get a more clearer picture, right? Then all the other hot stocks that we are currently having are, as of now, either sitting sideways or having a slight bearish sentiment. Why is there a bearish sentiment as of now? Because of the upcoming Fed rate cuts, which will be happening tomorrow morning. So everyone, sorry, be aware that we are having an important news event tomorrow. Make sure that you're aware. You shouldn't be scared, or you shouldn't you know freak out if you think what is happening tomorrow. It is just warning you that yes, there can be good amount of volatility, but not as much as it would be affecting the dollar, the American markets, right? In terms of the other stocks, more or less they have been going sideways, with the major emphasis currently on Nifty, which is currently having a bearish sentiment as of now. But we would be expecting in the coming month, in the coming days, in the coming time, for prices to increase in value. Let us quickly look at the overall sentiment of who are the big players who control the markets. Any idea who are the big players? Who are the big players of the financial markets? Any idea? You can write down your comments and let me know. So the big players in the financial markets are going to be, the major two are the FII and the DII, right? How many of you understand that? How many of you know what is an FII and what is a DII? So FIIs are foreign investment institutions, right? People from other countries have branches in India and they are investing in the Indian economy. So that is what FII stands for. And what is DII? DII stands for domestic institution investors, right? So the local investors of a particular country, the local residents or the local investors, they are termed as DII. Over the last 2 days, we are talking about 16th and 17th. Remember, the FII DII data is published the next day, because they need to have the entire data of the market sentiment for that day. So we are focusing on 16th and 17th. 18th will be published tomorrow, right? So I hope everyone understands that there is, why is there no 18th December shown? Because the market is currently running, and that is why it is not showing that particular data. It will be reflected tomorrow. I can see Rocky, who has come into our live streaming session. Hello Rocky, I hope you're having a great afternoon, and it's always happy to have you here in our live stream sessions, right? So, okay, now in terms of the movement of funds, right? Since the last couple of days, let's look at it from a perspective of 5 days, right? So we are looking at 17, 16, 13, 12, right? And 11. You can see there has been more net selling of capital, right? More funds are being extracted from the account. So we have, a deficit of negative 1012. We had a deficit of negative 3.3560 in the month, sorry, on 11th and 12th December respectively. 13th of December, which was a Friday, that was the only day where there was optimism in the markets, where the input of funds into the Indian economy was much higher. But today, as of 17, you can see it has touched to an amount of negative 6,409.9 crores, right? That is because in terms of the cash that is being exchanged, in terms of transactions that are being taking place, the FI are, heavily pulling out funds from the economy. Now, could this be a reason because of the macroeconomic factors that are taking place? It could be very much possible, right? So the DIIs are able to only input an additional 2,706 crores, while the FIIs have pulled out almost 6,409. So there is a net negative 3,703. So based on just the overall view of the movement of price, you can see it today has been quite heavy, right? Today as in yesterday, I'm talking of 17th of December. Now based on that, you can be very well, seeing that there is more sentiment in terms of, remember, the FIIs are given more priority when it comes to the movement of markets. So if the FII are, having bearish sentiment, what do you expect for the markets to do? Let me know your comments in the chat box. I would love to know your answers. If the FII are bearish or are having bearish sentiment in the market, what will the markets do? That is correct. The markets will have a bearish sentiment, right? Even though the overall market sentiment, remember, one is, looking at it from a point of FII and DII. The other one is the overall market sentiment. The overall market sentiment is still just at 35% bullish and 27% bearish, with a majority of 38% being at a neutral sentiment. So that is basically still showcasing there is selling pressure in the markets as of now. With the selling pressure being taking place in the markets, that is eventually being reflected on the charts, right? So the Nifty as of now has been having a bearish sentiment. I hope that makes sense, right, to everyone who is attending our live streaming session. So Rocky is writing, yes, the market is falling. And yes, Rocky, we had talked in detail about why the market is falling, but mainly it's because of the expectation of tomorrow's high impact news, right? The US Fed's the funds rate that is expected to be cut, and that is why the markets are being anxious. The markets are being skeptical in terms of what might take place tomorrow, because it is going to be taking place outside of the Indian share market timing. So people have to take a decision in terms of what they have to do today. So that is the reason today people are being skeptical. So it is being reflected on the charts, right? Any questions, any other queries, do not hesitate, right, to ask Master Harsh. We looked at all our watch list hot stock recommendations. Currently, the trades are either around break even or they're slightly bearish in terms of negative territory, but that should not be a concern at all. Why? Because we are focused towards the long term objective. What is our long term objective? Our long term objective is making money consistently. Based on the last 3 months, we have been seeing that we have been providing you with recommendations and we have been showcasing you the power that we are able to produce for you. We are able to showcase our talent in terms of generating profits. All you have to do is be sure to attend each and every live streaming session that I am undertaking. And secondly, when the stock market is open and when the live streaming sessions are going on, if and when I come across a hot stock recommendation, I will definitely provide it to you. But you have to make sure that you are taking action. I do not want listeners, who are just listening, because you are wasting time. I want people who are willing to take action. It is only when you're taking action that you can see the profits unfolding. If you are only looking, the money is only in your head. But if you take action, you can start to see the money, you can see the profits coming in, right? Very consistently we have been providing, but the most recent hot stock that has been closed on 16, right? So 16th was is the day when we had closed hindware and we had made 5%. So each and every day it is your duty to make sure that you are attending the live streaming sessions and replicating the trade ideas that Harsh and my other colleagues are sharing, right, for our hot stock recommendations. Because at the end, we want to make sure that you are making the funds that other people you are making the profits that other people can only think about. How many of you would love to make such kind of profits? Write down in the chat box and say, yes, Harsh, of course, I mean, who doesn't want to make these kind of profits? And it is possible, right? We have showcased it to you on a real time basis, and we will keep showcasing it again I mean, it will be kept being showcased on a regular basis in the future as well. So you do not have to worry. You can believe and trust that yes, Harsh has arrived, Dolphin Markets has arrived, and they can help me become rich. We are not just providing you with strategies to make you money, we also provide you with learning opportunities, right? So the learning opportunities in terms of learning about market concepts, trading concepts, psychology concepts, trading logic. There are so many aspects which are important. It's not just about taking trades and making money. It is also about learning the psychology aspect, learning the different concepts in terms of technicality. So there is so much to talk about. Eventually, we want to see you being successful in the markets. And our aim is to showcase that yes, it is possible to make good money in the England stock market, but most importantly, it is much, much more beneficial to make money in the international markets. We at Dolphin Markets are a forex service brokerage provider, right? We provide you with forex services, and with those forex services, we want to provide you with money making opportunities as well. Unlike our other competitors, we have been consistently providing you with hot stock recommendations, and they have worked wonderfully well. So if we can provide you with such fabulous returns in the English share market where we have recently entered, you can be rest assured that we can provide you with better returns, better trading recommendations in the international markets, correct? I'm talking about the forex, the gold, and the CFD markets where you can make much, much better returns, right? So, how many of you want to make good returns? Who wants to make money in the English share market? Say, yes, I want to make. And how many of you want to make money in the forex markets, right? Right, yes, for that also. All right, many people are saying yes. See, this is the reality. If you come across someone who is really providing you with high value content, you will understand, by yourself. You do not need much, information to be shared. You already know from within that yes, if someone is being able to make and showcase their analysis, is able to showcase their profitability data on a consistent basis, and that too based on real time market, it is possible to replicate it and to follow them and to make money, right? So I hope everyone is here to make money. Who is here to make good amount of money, right? How many people want to make good money over here? Everyone is here to make good amount of money. I can see everyone is saying yes, I want to make a lot of money. All you have to do is just two simple steps. Make sure you're attending my live streaming sessions, and as and how I come across a hot stock recommendation, I will share it to you. And over the last 3 months, you have already seen it time after time, week after week, month after month, we have been quite successful, right? So, how many of you are willing to be a part of Dolphin Markets, right? Make sure you take advantage of our services, because we are not just providing you with brokerage services, we are providing you with money making opportunities and education as well. So we want to make you an overall successful contender when it comes to the financial markets. We want you to make money by earning, and we want to provide you with education so that you can learn. So when you can earn and when you can learn, the combination is very strong, and it will only help you in the future. So, how many of you would want to be a part of such a great community? We have been getting a lot of, you know, participation. We have been getting a lot of optimism from our viewers. Everyone loves the live streaming sessions. Everyone wants to be a part of these sessions, and that is very great, right? Everyone who wants to be a part of this session, write down in the comment box. Everyone is saying yes, Harsh, why not? If you are making such kind of returns, who would not want to be a part of these kind of live streaming sessions. So we had talked about the entire market, overall market outview. Yes, in terms of the overall market outview, that has been on a bearish sentiment, but the reason for the bearish sentiment has been mainly because of the expectation of tomorrow's interest rate. So everyone would need to be aware of what will be happening tomorrow. Then we looked at our watch list, right? In terms of what the markets are doing, we were expecting our hot stock that was provided on Kriti, right? Kriti, which is basically into the producer manufacturing sector. We were expecting the prices to continue and to our 5% target. It is still ranging sideways. So as of now, with today's market open, the prices are more or less around the same area, correct? So we will keep an eye on this. Hopefully during the next live streaming session, which will be taken care by my colleague, he could be updating you with all the all the updates that have been taking place in the market. But as of now, this is the current scenario, and that is included for all the other hot stocks that we have provided as of as of the last couple of months. With the trades running, it is only a matter of time before they start to correct and before they start to show optimism, right? Since it is December, we had talked about the month of December is when the liquidity dries up. If the liquidity dries up, the market moves are generally sideways, right? There might be less volatility coming in. Everyone is going for the vacations. Next week is Christmas. I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas well in advance so that everyone can remember that yes, Harsh had had greeted us for Christmas well in advance. We did look at Poonawalla, and in terms of Poonawalla, we had made sure to inform you that as of today, the auto, the banking, and the energy sector have been taking quite a significant hit, right? They have been quite bearish, and the other reason for the Nifty, which we were looking at, besides the anticipation of the dollar, is because of these three sectors, right? The auto, the banking, and the oil and gas sector that have been having bearish sentiment. So even Poonawalla being in the banking sector, we were looking at what we could be expecting around this particular area. Looking at it, we still require more data and more time to decide what would be the best course of action. You do not have to worry, we will be updating you with any improvisation that would be required to take place, right? For now, you need to have patience. How many of you have patience? Write down in the comment box, right? Patience is a very important virtue because that is what differentiates the amateurs from the professionals, right? We are here to make money, of course, right? Who is here not to make money? Everyone is here to make money, but people, they get carried away with making money quickly, right? They want to make money today. That can sometimes act as a setback. So we are following our structure. We have proven ourselves time after time that it is possible to make really good profits. Over the last 3 months, we have proved ourselves. So we believe in our strategy, and it is only a matter of time that we can be showing you with much higher returns, especially for the next year, right? So we looked at all the other hot list trade recommendations that we had provided. We had focused on the other important news event, that was the FI. As of today, there has been good amount of selling pressure based on the foreign investment institutions, and that is also another factor for the markets to have bearish sentiment. Make sure that you are attending my third live streaming session. For that is where I will be talking about trading logic. It is very important to be talking about the psychological aspects and the framework when it comes to achieving success in the financial markets. So I hope everyone has learned good amount of information. I would be, the next live streaming session will be taking place shortly, and that is where my colleague Mr. Raditya would be coming in to talk more about the analysis from from a fundamental analysis point of view, right? So I hope everyone has a great afternoon, and I will catch you again for the third live streaming session. Until then, namaste and take care. Bye bye.